Hey guys, Stomp here. Welcome to Story Time. And in today's story, I will tell you something that I never told anyone in my whole life. I just remembered it recently, so stick around and I'll tell you all about it. Do you remember when these first came out? Revolutionary, right? Portable music player that you can store thousands and thousands of songs, and you don't even need a cassette tape. You can carry it around with you anywhere, and pretty much made the tape recorders and the Walkmans and all that stuff obsolete, right? Guys, watch the video right through to the end and you'll get your chance to vote on whether you think this video is true or false. So I'll have a little poll and you'll get your chance to vote. But stick around and we'll do that at the end of the video. Well, so my story goes back to 1976, and yes, I am that old. I think I was 6 years old. Long time ago, right? But anyway, the story begins there. So basically, as I can remember, I was with my parents. My parents were driving in their car, and we were headed somewhere, but I don't remember where. You know, we're driving along and the radio is playing in the car. You know, one of those old AM FM radio stereos in the car in the 1970s, if anyone of you can remember that. So we're driving along, and I can remember it sort of raining as well at that time. It was raining. I was watching the raindrops on the window of the car as we're driving, and there was these, you know, I can remember the 70s songs playing on the radio. But anyway, a thought came into my head, and what I can remember of that is I saw a box. I saw a small box. I was thinking to myself, what if you could put music on that box and take it around with you everywhere? Like, what if you could make it portable? Like, what if you could load that music into that box and just carry it around? And that was an interesting thought, and I can still remember how I was trying to figure out how that would work. At that time I was thinking of putting these things in the box. So, you know, how would I know that years later you would be able to upload digital tracks to your device? How would I know at 6 years old in 1976, right? So that was my thought. Portable music player. Just take that into account, 1976, right? So that's probably around the time Steve Jobs and Apple were sort of, you know, just growing or just beginning. And the story's leading to the fact that Steve Jobs would have had that thought in his head at probably around the same time as I had that thought. Because I'm not sure, but I think originally he wanted to make Apple part of, like, he was very into music and he wanted to make like a device for music. But I find it freaky, right, guys? I find it freaky that I had the same thought. Now, my thought obviously was an iPod, but it was a box that you could carry around and play music. So years later, right, I think it was 2000, I'm not quite sure, but I think it was 2000, something was released to the public, and that was the iPod first generation. Now, obviously revolutionary, and I remember thinking when it came out, that's the exact same thing I was thinking about back when I was a kid. I can remember thinking to myself, if only I was like in my 20s back in 1976, maybe, you know, I could have started something like that too. Like, I could have made that dream a reality. And since that day, it's always crossed my mind that what could have been, right? You can imagine remembering something as a child and then years later hearing that it's become reality. You know, it's a bit like The Simpsons having an episode on Donald Trump and saying, yeah, he's going to be president and blah, blah, blah. And then years later, he's freaking the president of the United States. That's mind blow, right? That's pretty much the story, guys. It's, you know, from 6 years old had a dream, and it wasn't a dream. Let's say it was a daydream. What if? Grew up. Then a brilliant man, creates a company called Apple, and yeah, creates Apple Ipod. That's released, and then I realized that freaking hell, that's the idea that I had. That's the idea that came across to me as a kid. So guys, do you think that's freaky? I think that's freaky. Alright guys, so that's the end of the story. Now it's time for you guys to decide whether you think it's true or false. So if you'll see an icon, that side, sorry, up there, you'll see an icon, and that icon will lead you to a poll, and you can decide, you can vote for true or false, and those results will be in my next story time video. So if you want to stick around for that, you'll check out the results there. But as for this story time, thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and catch you in the next story time. Yeah.